yourself at home. You might be wondering why I'm sitting on the floor. I'm going to try to keep this video short because I think someone said there's a carbon monoxide leak from this fireplace, and carbon monoxide is a little poisonous. Looks like it's almost time for bed, but before we call it a night, I want to talk a little bit about one of my favorite games, Elden Ring. I really liked Elden Ring, and I was surprised to see that many people who haven't played a Souls game before also liked Elden Ring, especially considering that the beginner's tutorial is in a scary ditch away from the main path. When I stepped out into the open world, my breath was taken away by how colorful and beautiful it was. Colorful and beautiful like a koi fish. There are very pretty skies, waterfalls, and a lot of cinematic settings with a day-night cycle and dynamic weather. And there's this big golden tree that reaches out over the lands. I remember Pennsylvania had some really big trees too, but the trees around where I am now are pretty short, like me. Each area in Elden Ring is so magical and has so much for you to do. So many dungeons and boss fights, and dungeons within dungeons, and bosses within the dungeons, and items and skills and quests. No matter what you're doing, you always feel like you're making progress and having a good time. One of my favorite things to do is play dress up. Can you guess what character I am? I'm the mummy from Scooby-Doo. Can you guess who this is? It's Spooky Space Cook from Scooby-Doo. Okay, one last one. I'm Toad from Mario. You also don't need to be afraid to explore in Elden Ring, unlike the other Souls games, because there are many checkpoints that you can fast travel to and replenish supplies at. You also get more flasks when you settle your arguments or ask these creatures politely. Also, there's this nice, pleasant background music. Let me play one of them for you. Usually, the Souls games only have music for the boss battles, so this felt nice. Really makes the whole game very relaxing, as long as you lower the volume when you have arguments with the other folk in the area. A little more. A little more. Good. Have you ever looked at this creature and thought it looked like a dog? Me neither. But also, I never owned a dog. But if you squint hard enough, then just maybe. Never mind. I don't see it. One of my favorite parts of Elden Ring is the NPCs, because first of all, they're very kind. In the other Souls games, the NPCs and merchants usually made me a little sad. When I wouldn't buy anything from a merchant, he would say some pretty mean things. It's like if you walked into a store and the attendant at the entrance asks, "What can I help you find today?" And you say, "I'm just looking around." And then as you leave, that same attendant calls you the modern day equivalent of those medieval slurs that the merchants use. Maybe that wasn't the best analogy. Sorry. But now everyone is really nice. Also, they talk like Robin Hood. When I would accomplish something big, I liked visiting my NPC friends to hear them congratulate me and cheer me on. There are still some NPCs that might tap into your insecurities.
Unfortunately for you, however, you are maidenless.
But it's important to forgive and move on. and the characters have really interesting quests that are sometimes really significant to the story, so it's worth giving them some company. Just make sure nobody is eavesdropping on your conversations.
Are you here in the lands between?
Are you still with me? Okay. So much of this game is optional, even entire areas and bosses, which I think is really neat because it makes the game feel like your own special adventure. An adventure that you can share with the friendly community surrounding Elden Ring that leaves hopeful messages along the way. Did you know that a restaurant in New Zealand named one of their drinks after an Elden Ring player who goes by Let Me Solar Her? And then Bandai Namco sent him a weapon. He wears nothing but a pot and puts Millennia, who's one of the easiest bosses, to sleep, with his only condition being that you let him solo her. When I said that, you might have thought, D-Duck, did you get new glasses? And the answer is no, I didn't. But thanks for asking. When you're lost in the dark fantasy world of Elden Ring, you might find yourself asking, what is the Elden Ring? What are fingers? Why are there stars above the skies, but also beneath the ground? Is Torrent a horse or a donkey? Why am I maidenless? Who am I? Where am I? What am I? Who am I? And the game does a nice job of giving you just enough understanding to stay motivated. And then you can dive deeper on your own by exploring and reading the descriptions on key items. There is this one piece of lore that is revealed after solving a hidden puzzle. And when you solve it, you get a message with 3 words. And with those 3 simple words, your mind is blown. If that secret doesn't blow your mind, nothing will, I think. I wanted to stretch my legs, so now I'm outside. We just got these new string lights. Do you like them? Now it's a party. Just kidding. I don't do parties. Elden Ring is a tough game. I played Dark Souls 1, which I didn't finish. I played Bloodborne, which I did finish. I played Demon Souls, which I did finish. And I played Dark Souls 3, which I didn't finish. I think Elden Ring is the toughest of them all. But on the other hand, this game gives you so many more ways to get stronger. You can get the same weapons that the other folk use. You can get Ashes of War, which are special skills for your weapon, and can be quite powerful. And soon, you'll be looking like a boss fight yourself. Nice. There are also wondrous physics, which you can customize to give you various effects, and spirit ashes, which are summons, and a lot more other stuff too. This spirit ash in particular is quite handsome. Just kidding. It's just a copy of me. Sorry. Even still, you might have a tough time with certain boss fights. When that happens, try not to get too mad. Admire how cool the fight is, and then try going somewhere else. Or just eat a banana and go to sleep, because a good night's sleep always helps. Some might also complain about the UX, because the game doesn't let you pause or slow down time as you try to cycle through your items and weapons. But as I said in my bad controls video, I think this really makes you feel the pressure and creates a more immersive experience that aligns with the punishing nature of the game. Are you still with me? Okay. I went back inside because it was cold out. One of the things I really look for when I play video games is the movement. In my opinion, the Naughty Dog games have the best movement. The animations are very complex and I'm sure involve a lot of math. And as a result, controlling the character not only feels very realistic, but is also very fun. But not all games need to have this type of movement. There are fast-paced games where it's necessary to have instant and accurate feedback for your actions. But there are some games that are sort of in between. Elden Ring is a good example of this. You can walk, run, sprint, jump, crouch, and dodge. And all of these moves are a little stiff. The animation doesn't change if you sprint down some stairs or run into a wall, which is not necessarily a bad thing. What I like about the movement in Elden Ring is that the levels and terrain really make you push the limits of the mechanics that are present. For example, even though there aren't any climbing mechanics, such as ledge grabs, you can still do a lot of interesting platforming, such as walking along ledges and jumping from one roof to another, in order to find secret treasures in areas. This is kind of similar to Dragon Quest XI's movement, but what I wish that Elden Ring took from Dragon Quest is the variable movement, going from a slow walk to a faster walk and slowly speeding up depending on how far you push up the stick, and having the animations adjust appropriately. But it's okay, I forgive them. And the game makes it up to you with the awesome combat animations anyways. Elden Ring will always be a very special game to me, and I'm happy to be experiencing so many great games these days. Wow, it's past my bedtime, and I'm quite tired. Can you tell? Thanks for listening, or if you fell asleep while watching this, thanks for trying. I'm gonna go heat up some milk before hitting the hay. Good night.